Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and we're going to be talking some more about Alien Covenant and the future of the Alien franchise. Now, I did do a video a while back asking whether or not Alien Covenant was a pre-sequel. Well, it turns out, and there will be spoilers going forward, just so we're clear. Okay. So Ridley Scott is found this new love for the Alien franchise, right? I don't really know where it came from. I mean, he was keen to not work on the property from 1979 until 2012 when Prometheus came out. So something changed. Probably he's looking at the fact that Blade Runner is being redone, and that might continue on as something, and him going like, "Oh no! This is mine. This one's mine." But anyway, he speaking with Joe Blow, revealed the name of the next Alien film, because if you remember, he has said that he wants to do like 6 more Alien movies. He wants to do one a year if possible. Like, he just wants to throw in the rest of his life behind the Alien franchise. Keep in mind, Ridley Scott is 79 years old. Okay, 79 years old, and he wants to pretty much spend the rest of his days making Alien movies. Now, I'm not against that. I'm not against that one goddamn bit. I want to see what they're going to do with this shit. But this is where things get weird. So we're going to get into this here. It says here, Ridley Scott has been very open about his newfound love of the Alien franchise, and that he shows no signs of slowing down if audiences are still craving them. The box office draw of Alien Covenant will answer that question, but Fandango recently sat down with the director, who shared a few words on what the future is looking like for the franchise. The following answers are a bit foggy, but may give us a clue into what Scott has in mind. He even shares some information about Noomi Rapace's role in Covenant. Now, again, I did talk about that a while ago in another video. And again, spoilers, just in case you don't realize there are spoilers. We know that Covenant takes place after Prometheus, before the first Alien movie. We know that shit goes down with Shaw's character. Shaw and David left the planet on a space jockey ship. We don't know what the fuck happened. And we're going to find out a bit of that in Alien Covenant. Enough to indicate that David is still up to his wily old ways, supposedly. If the set reports are to be believed. So scrolling down here, it says, Ridley says, there will be another one before we kind of literally and logically, clockwise, back into the rear head of the original Alien. That's a loaded thing to unpack there. Okay. It will go Prometheus, Awakening, Covenant, fairly integral to where the colonization ship is going. So Prometheus and Covenant are part of a trilogy. Awakening is also going to be part of that same trilogy, but that's the middle piece. So we're getting the beginning, the end, and then the middle. What the fuck is going on? All right, this is like taking storytelling and just going, whatever, it will work. And I mean, maybe I get it, fine, like maybe Covenant will be a backdoor into like Wayland Yutani, and LV-246 or 426, I'm sorry. And it will maybe be all of those things. It will maybe be everything dealing with that shit. Who knows? But that is such a weird way of looking at the storytelling process. And then he says, going on regarding another trilogy of films, he says, if this is successful, and then the next one, then there will definitely be 3 more. And maybe that's what he was referring to with the 6, Prometheus tying into that 6, not 6 past Covenant, which I guess would make sense, right? But then also talking about Noomi Rapace's return, he says, yes, in a way, not fully, but in a way, she was integral to what David carried out later, as I mentioned earlier. And that obviously is playing into what happened with David in between Prometheus and Covenant, right? Because we see from the trailers that somebody planted wheat, that the space jockey ship had crashed. And I'm pretty certain that the space jockey ship that they see in the trailer for Covenant is the same one Shaw left that other planet with in Prometheus. And that they crashed there, and that they were trying to establish livable means there. And of course, David was still working on his particular experiments to create the perfect killing machine, which is the Xenomorph. That's the whole purpose of what I think Alien is trying to lead to is not a religious thing, as I pointed out in my video about the Xenomorphs creator. Again, other people have tried very much tying religion into this. It's very science-based, but it's also mankind's drive for artificial intelligence, and then that artificial intelligence wanting to then create something as supreme and maybe pure as he, and then going for the perfect killing machine using us as hosts, so on and so forth. So it continues to say here, so right off the bat, Ridley lets slip the possibility of another Alien film, Awakening. Now, the interesting thing about this is he puts Awakening between Prometheus and Covenant, a possible mistake on his part, but Fandango seems to feel that Scott wants to make a prequel to Covenant that would be Awakening, as well as a sequel, and then a whole new trilogy of Alien films. When asked whether it would take place after the original, Scott said they would not. Whatever the men has planned, it's certainly looking to open more doors and take advantage of the Alien backstory. Here's hoping it's a good one to tell. And I agree. I know that these particular storylines are getting a little bit convoluted. They're getting a little bit crazy, but at the same time, they're interesting in their own right about what they could tell. Look at like what they did with Aliens Colonial Marines. The game was bad, but the story was good, right? The story was interesting. But then again, that was pulling off of Aliens and the more action sci-fi side of things. Whereas Alien Isolation, again, a very well done story about Ripley's daughter and everything else. And I thought Alien Isolation, outside of the draggy middle section of the game, was a very well done experience, and one I would recommend if you like horror games. So there's very much good things that have come out of the Alien canon since, Aliens in 1986. But I'm wondering if Ridley Scott is doing everything he can to ignore James Cameron's contribution to the franchise, because that's what it feels like. He knows that James Cameron took a genre and a creature feature genre and turned it into a sci-fi horror action thriller thing. And people, there's arguments, which is a better Alien movie, Alien or Aliens, and it very much is divided amongst fans because some prefer the slow, methodical pacing of the horror version, the original. Some prefer the action-packed aspect of the sequel, and that's fine on both accounts. But you can tell that when it comes to everything going forward with this franchise, Ridley wants to lead up to his original vision of the film and not go past it, because once it left his control and went to James Cameron, it took on an entirely different theme. And that's fine, right? That's fine. I just hope the stories don't get too goddamn convoluted. Again, they're as awesome as Xenomorphs are and as awesome as the Alien franchise is, unless they sit down and craft a full world surrounding it, and not just kind of piece by piece as they go along, because we're kind of getting tired of that, I think, in terms of these series of films that have a story and then ultimately don't give you much of the overall arc. Like, the best example of that I can give would be the Paranormal Activity movies, where they are good in their own right. Some are better than others, but when it comes to the full overall story of what is going on with like the demon possessing people or terrorizing them, you get like one line of dialogue or two at max in each movie. And I am not making that up. Go watch the first three movies again. In the third movie, when they talk about the witches, they literally give you one line of dialogue about the witches, about the coven, before the end of the fucking movie, right? Like, it's just one line of dialogue to set up the overall story and also to add into the overall arc of that series. And I don't want that for this, and I'm fearful that that's what's going to happen. So I would hope that while Ridley is developing Awakening, and while they're working on all these other things, he has a team of writers, a writer's room that is crafting an overall arc with interesting characters, interesting set pieces, interesting stories that will intrigue audiences. Because that is where we are in terms of these connected universes. We need a roadmap in advance. Not that we need to know what the roadmap is leading to, but we need it. So then when they make these movies, they are able to then set up the continuation, and not just leave us hanging and then make it up as they go along. And anyway, I'm just afraid that that's what's going to happen with this. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think that having Awakening kind of again be a pre-sequel to Covenant, is a good idea? Do you think that they should just move past this? How would you want to see the franchise continue? Do you think they should set it post the events on LV-426? Do you think they should set it post the events of Aliens? I mean, what do you guys think? These are things I want to know. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Oh yeah, like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment if you can, and check back frequently for more movie news from me. And have yourself a great day, guys. Peace out.